narration and glorification. If you can discern the difference, you're not going to be the one that's influenced by it. That is, you know what I mean? So
true. Right.
At the end of the day, it's art. Art imitates life.
All right, let's talk narration versus glorification. All right.
Interesting.
I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this clip, and then we can get down and discuss as always.
You in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, if you still rapping about cocaine or killing people, even if you sold that, even if you shot somebody before, there's a difference between narration and glorification. And I just feel like in the rap game, it's too much glorification of things that's going to get us locked up or get us 6 feet underground.
So this brother's name is Dee-1. He's an artist, public speaker, listed as a Harvard fellow. So really intelligent brother. I got a chance to listen to him on this podcast with the Geto Boys, Reloaded. Narration versus glorification as it relates to lyrics. When you hear that, Jay Moore, I'll come to you first. What are your thoughts?
Well, 𝐻𝐿 did that, so you wouldn't have to go through that.
Oh, we're going to go there. Okay.
𝐻𝐿 did that, so hopefully you won't have to go through that.
See, sometimes a lot of the narration comes from people who didn't even go through things. As much as I love Ice Cube, Ice Cube grew up in a house with his mother and father, went to school every day.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, by the way.
Yeah, and was never arrested. But he told the stories. He was not on the block. He went from being a kid who went to high school to actually being in like a program out in Arizona to being a professional rapper. There was no stops in there that made him where he was actually living a gangster lifestyle. He's always been a narrator. But we respect him for it because he does such a good job.
Right.
And he spoke for the people who were going through things, and he never I don't think Cube ever glorified anything. Okay?
Can we define glorification?
I think if you make it seem like selling dope is the only way out, and the only reason I have these nice things is because I sell dope, and I don't ever give you the part where you might have sold dope for 3 or 4 years, but you got 35 years for doing it,
right?
And the thing is, I think there's very little of that.
You think there's little glorification?
Take Jeezy out.
I was about to say, because there's a whole preacher that is blaming Jeezy for a whole lot of nonsense.
For real?
Yeah, absolutely.
Called him out?
Yes. He said Jeezy. Wow. Oh, wow.
I didn't hear that. I didn't know that. Okay.
Props to him. I mean, in a way. But I think that there are, even when I talk about, how much I love Ice-T,
right.
Even when you watch the videos, like if you watch High Rollers, you think, man, this is the way to go. But then at the end of the movie, or not the end of the movie, but the end of the video, he's laid out.
Right.
For all the fly stuff he had, you see he's basically, it's not like he's an old man and they finally got him. No, they got him like not that long after what happened, or people wind up in jail. That was the thing that came from the 80s. Even the people who were talking that gangsterism, it was a cautionary tale until we kind of got to NWA. The second album, because
I think NWA was,
because you think about Dope Man, the Dope Man was not glorified. They were talking about beating the Dope Man up.
True.
So yeah, I think there are people who have glorified, and they, what has the hustling hood, if you will, But I think most of the rappers that we revere and who are actually become legends, when they talk about these things, they're talking about them as cautionary tales, and it's like, look, you can't do this forever, because if I was doing this forever, I wouldn't be rapping. And I wouldn't be rapping about the things that I did or the things I'm doing currently.
But there's probably something to be said about the people that are currently maybe rapping about that stuff, and they're still in the process of it, right? And maybe they haven't reached their cautionary tale age.
Well, you know what? I can see what you're saying, but I think this is the thing about these young rappers who, once again, I call them my kids. They're living the cautionary tale, because look at all the ones that are in jail. They're under indictment. They're getting killed.
True.
Because they can't leave the streets alone, or they're just always wrong. They try to keep it too real, instead of saying, what, at this point, I'm in entertainment. I make songs to make people dance and enjoy themselves, and they still want to be gangsters. No, you can't do it.
What you think, Terry, about this narration versus glorification? Just the concept of that.
I think it kind of remains true. And to Jay Moore's point, with Ice Cube being a narrator, so to speak. And although he grew up with the family structure,
right,
he still grew up in that environment. I know plenty of people from the hood that grew up next door to the same people that were doing some stuff they probably shouldn't have been doing, but chose a different route, but live within a rock's throw of these individuals. You know what I'm saying? So you can still witness it and not necessarily be submerged in it, or essentially be victim to the glorification. So you took the I'm gonna watch it and report it narration route. Tupac can even be considered the same way, because a lot of the stuff he talked about was essentially a narration of what he seen and what he saw and what he grew up around. A lot of it wasn't what he was doing. Whereas on the glorification side of things, there are artists that make it sound real fly and flashy to you know what I'm saying, scam and get a bag by doing it like this and putting on a ski mask and doing it this way. I mean, there's a lot of that going on, glorification and influence, so to speak, that has pretty much infiltrated the rap game in a lot of cases. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I kind of agree with it to a certain extent.
I think it does. I think the glorification part it's definitely there. As for the narration, I think some of the OGs that you listed were great at that. I can tell the difference. I think we can see it or kind of understand it, but sometimes the consumer may not be. It might be blurred. The consumer
the
may
line
not
can be blurred. Even when he brought up Jay-Z, Jay-Z actually did it, right? But the way that he presented to you was more of an explanation of his lifestyle. Right. Now it looked nice and sounds nice when he puts it on to a beat. You know what I'm saying? But in the same token, he's telling you, like he said, Hov did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that. It sounds good.
But even when you go to his first album, he's got songs like Regrets.
Yeah.
Right.
Can I Live?
Right.
The Evils.
He's not making this seem like, I definitely need to start selling dope now. That's not what I took from it.
Right.
I mean, it's the piece, if you remember the studio session in Fade to Black, where there's the rapper, the young kid was in there and he was talking about, I feel like I have to rap about this stuff.
Because that's what they want to hear.
Because that's what they want to hear. You see how Jay jumped on him ASAP and was like, and Guru, they were both like, just do you. Like, you don't have to, go that route and just talk about this. He's like, nah, but that's what they want to hear. This is what they, want to do. That made me think about that clip, because there are people that probably perform and write records based off thinking, I mean, this is what worked for XYZ, so I'm coming in the game doing the exact same thing. The glorification, I'm just going to follow suit.
But that's not your life.
Right.
We used the whole term studio gangster.
Right.
If you didn't go through that and you want to rap like Tribe Called Quest, but you're not rapping like that because you feel like it's not going to get you as far, then what are you in this for? That'd be like if say I started rapping, 46 years old, start rapping.
I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna support you.
No, you're not, because it's probably gonna be trash. Now, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be trash, but it's like, if I got on, would you buy it if I got on and I start talking about, yeah, man, I was out here flipping birds and I shot these people in jail time, and because y'all know enough about me, and especially when I got on here and talked about my Christmases, that I know about it on a peripheral level, like, because I can't act like every friend I had or every family member I have is not. I know what substance abuse looks like. I know what it is for people who have lived selling, whatever they had to sell. But I'm not. That wasn't my life. My life was getting up, going to school, going to church on Sunday with my parents. You know what I'm saying? Being in the AKA's cotillion my senior year, doing a speech and debate competitions and being in student council. If I can't find a way to rap about that, and when I'm talking about my formative years, then I'm not keeping it real.
I'm not mad at that. Yeah.
So if you heard me talking about like the streets of St. Louis and we doing this, that, and third, and we're
gonna laugh at you.
Yeah, I was cripping and no,
they're all gonna laugh at you.
Yeah. Come on now. Because eventually the people who really know you are going to talk about you and let people know what time it is for real.
Go ahead, and a lot of the, like the conversations we're having too, I would say typically the people that can discern the difference between narration and glorification, if you can discern the difference, you're not going to be the one that's influenced by it. Is, you know what I mean? So
true.
Right.
It's like, yeah.
You're listening with smart ears.
Because there are a group of people that can't. You know what I'm saying? That might not be able to understand. You know what I'm saying?
It goes back to the comparison that we use a lot to movies.
Right.
It's just like there's a lot of movies that glorify gangster life and all that type of stuff too, and some of it's just narration. showing you what can happen if you go down that line. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's art. And art imitates life. So you just have to take from it what you can.
And now you over here podding, boy. That's a bar right there, man. Like that.
I'm just talking.
But nah, man, shout out to that brother for bringing that up. I think that is he didn't come off as a hater. He came off as, just voicing his opinion. I think it's actually a very good comparison.
Yeah.